Up next, we got another exciting one, more about utility, future of NFTs, and can devs do something? That is the question. So yeah, I think there's quite a few things we can do to encourage a community to stay involved, to have them have exclusive access and be able to have different rights within the community with these NFTs. How can you give them profit sharing, in-person exclusive access to different events and community building efforts? So yeah, Ryan's gonna kill it. With that, I'll give it up.
Cool. Yeah. Let's see, I'm gonna go back, yeah. So hey, I'm Ryan. I'm the Chief Anthropobotanical Engineer for the Flower Girls project. What does that mean? It means that I dream up wild stuff about these beautiful flower girls. It's an NFT project created by artist Vivara LA. And each of them has these flying companions, and they fly around on a sphere, and they cross-pollinate one another, and there's tokens involved, and it's all sorts of fun stuff. But basically, I just came up with that title because it sounded cool. But so yeah, I work for the Flower Girls and with Merlin Labs. My pre-Web3 life, I've been an educator most of my life. I've taught, and I was the director of technology for a school for a lot of years before we were evacuated from my home in New Orleans. My daughter and I kind of dreamed up this project to do a charity NFT called Fork Hunger. She drew a bunch of forks, and I wrote the smart contract, and off we went. We raised like $140,000 for the food banks in our local area. And from that, and from my interaction with communities like the Top Dog Beach Club, I have met a lot of people who like ended up giving me enough work where I had to decide, like, do I want to keep doing what I was doing, or am I going to like jump into this wild Web3 NFT world? And kind of here I am. So I'm here to talk about utility, and what specifically that means. Like, what can a token, what can this NFT do? Aside from maybe, hopefully, we'll see, like being worth more than it was when I bought it, and then I get to get more money for it than I paid for it. Like, that's cool and all that, but it's not super interesting to me as somebody who's into like what stuff can do. I was in, like I said, like a director of technology, and my job was to like find solutions to problems. And the problem of like making money multiply is, I guess, a problem for some people, but it's not really one that I felt interested in solving. But what NFTs offered was an opportunity to like do things that we couldn't do before. Like, the blockchain gives us opportunities to have these tokens like actually do stuff. And they may be in real life, or it may be digital stuff, right? The first utility that I feel like is the most essential utility is artistic utility. That's the utility of beauty. And I say that not like ironically or anything else, but like beauty will save the world. I believe that in my guts. Like, it is so important because art can do something. We say, like, can devs do something? Art can do something to us that really nothing else can. It can make us feel things. It can make us change the way we think and we see the world in ways that are really important. And NFTs offer an opportunity to support that in a way that we've never had the opportunity to before. I met Abby, who's right there. She's the artist for Top Dog. She lives in England. I never, in a million years probably, would have bought her art had NFTs not existed. I met Thomas this weekend. He's an amazing illustrator and watercolorist, and I can't wait to own some of his art. It wouldn't have happened without NFTs. The ability of beauty to change things and to offer actual utility to the world can't be downplayed, and it shouldn't be downplayed. It is a utility in and of itself. Obviously, the utility that a lot of people come to NFTs for is the economic or the financial utility, right? Not just like, can I resell this later, which is, obviously part of the game, right? But also, It offers opportunities to do things like sharing profits or distributing royalties in interesting ways, and doing it in a way that's trustless. It's all in the chain. You can decide what percentage of what goes where very easily. It also offers opportunities to tokenize things in different ways. If you don't want necessarily your core holders of your NFT project to that the only way for them to benefit is to no longer be a holder in your community and no longer be a part of it. You have to figure out ways to kind of offer a tokenization otherwise. Social utility, or like the utility of participation, is probably one of the biggest ones that drew me to the space. Being able to be a part of something is such a core human need, right? It's something that we want to do. It's something that we need to do. And especially over the last several years when we were kind of all holed up trying to figure out, how to stay alive and keep all of our people alive, that need became even greater. And that's where a lot of the NFT community, I think, probably, was born from. I don't think that it wouldn't have happened otherwise. I think that we are living in a world that wants to be connected, and we are people that want to be connected, and it offers that opportunity, right? But it's a cool way to get people to all rally around one thing, and to kind of limit that. And I'm a big believer in community and in everybody can win, and it's the whole wag me thing. That's core to who I am just in general. But there's also the reality that our communities can only be so large before they're, too big to actually be called community anymore. We don't actually interact with one another in meaningful ways. So NFTs offer an opportunity to do that, and not just on the internet, but in real life. An example of that would be Bobby's project, the VR Future. They flew a bunch of people to France to experience VR film together. The Top Dogs, I met them in Miami not too long ago when we all had dinner with several holders. The Flower Girls all got together in New York not too long ago, and we're going to again very soon for NFT NYC. There's all these opportunities to connect with one another. We've had this kind of band of merry men that we've been kind of gradually gathering more people into all week here at the conference, and this is important. This stuff, between two people, is so important, and NFTs offer an opportunity to organize ourselves in that kind of a way, right? Another type of utility is experiential utility, or the utility of entertainment. This is a lot of the NFT gaming comes into this, and I say a lot of it. I'm not sure if it's a lot of it yet, but it will. The play to earn stuff, okay, that's fine. But my experience of people and being one of those people, is most of us earn to play. That's we go to work so that we can have a little bit of extra time and resources so that we can have a good time. So until we're offering opportunities that are actually fun, more so than just a way to get more tokens, I'm not sure that we're really doing this as well as we could, but we're getting there. We also and this is kind of core, I was talking about the Flower Girls and the cross-pollination and all that. For me, it was really important to create a system that was fun and beautiful and interesting, and entertaining. It does produce these seed tokens that will be used in a whole economy where you can buy more art and in real life stuff and all that kind of stuff. But more than that, my hope is that through the entire experience, it's fun, and people are having a good time and they're enjoying themselves. Not in the same way as watching nature in real life, but in a similar way. It's just kind of happening, and you just kind of get to say, oh, that's cool. My flower got pollinated by, a bumblebee that came from across the collection today. That's cool. And the last type of utility that I feel is maybe not taken advantage of enough in collections yet, but I think that we're headed this way, is ethical utility, or the utility of goodness. Most of us want to do something good, especially if people that were really early to the crypto space, some of us made just profits that we never imagined that people would be making, and being able to redirect some of that to people that actually need it is a really important piece. Not just my daughter and I, like I said earlier, did the Fork project, but Flower Girls sends 20% of all of our both primary and our secondary sales to children's charities. We spend another 5% supporting child artists. That's just like super important to Varvara, our artist. She's always taught art to young people, and particularly neurodiverse young people. And using this space that all of a sudden has given new opportunities to artists, it turns out like a lot of those artists happen to be just really wonderful people and want to spread that out. And that to me is also and this is a little bit of a sidebar, I guess. It's not particularly about utility, but it's something that makes me really excited about the space in general, is that we're launching a new economy, and some of it is based on these old economic models of capitalism and all that, but there's this new economy of generosity that happens in this space that I don't see in real life. That artists in particular support one another. If somebody buys their art, one of their first things to do, almost across the board, is to buy someone else's who hasn't had a sale recently, or who is new to the space, or who they just really love their art. That kind of like reciprocal, generous spirit that occurs in this space is beautiful, and maybe it would happen in real life if it was easier the way that it is with crypto. I hope that that's true. But I think that having a space that's being led by creatives and people who have big dreams, and that's not just like physical artists, but I consider myself as a developer and artist as well. Like it's trying to do interesting things and create things kind of just creates generosity, and that's kind of like the thing that I live by. I try to, at least, and I believe it. The generosity attracts generosity, and the world will be saved by beauty. I didn't actually come up with that one on my own. That was Dostoevsky, but I believe it. I think he was right, and I think it's true. So that's all I had to say about utility. So I wanted to make sure that there was enough time for people to ask, and I can give examples of these things as well if anybody's interested. But if anybody's got any questions, I would love to hear them. What you got, Bobby? Do we need to wait on a microphone? We should wait on a microphone, huh? I can project, it's fine. That's true. I don't know if anybody heard Bobby singing, "Fly Me to the Moon" the other night. It was just remarkable.
Oh, you want me to do that again now?
Maybe at the end, if we don't have any more questions, that'll be the thing.
For the future of utility, obviously there's these things you've talked about. Is there anything else you believe something will pop up out of nowhere? Like, how this whole space has popped up out of the blue. What do you feel would be the next form of utility that pops up?
That's a really good question. I think, so when I worked in schools, part of my job was like evaluating new ideas and technologies about how well they would, help teachers teach, right? That was kind of, and one of the ways we evaluated that was to see there are kind of technologies that substitute, like instead of writing something with a pencil, I'm going to write it on a tablet, right? That's a direct substitute. It's okay, whatever. There are things that augment. There are technologies that kind of do something that we've done one way, but it makes it easier or cheaper or more interesting or whatever. And then there are technologies that provide brand new opportunities that just it wasn't something you ever thought you could do in a classroom. Now all of a sudden you can, because there's this tool that somebody came up with that does it. And I think that those things are coming. I think that that's something that being at a conference like this really, kind of reinvigorates the fire about. It's like people have all these really, really cool ideas. I think, if I had to guess, I think that there's going to be some significant changes in the way that events happen, the way that people can connect to their audiences, if they're musicians or venues or things like that. I'm a big music fan. I would love it if I went to a show and then a week later an MP3 of one of the songs that they sang that night showed up in my wallet. Like, that would be really, really amazing. And it becomes really easy for them to do when your ticket's an NFT. It just provides a lot more kind of ease of access to stuff like that. I would also love to see and this is maybe getting more political than it should, but I'd love to see governmental systems, developed and, wealth distribution, thought about in ways that the blockchain really could manage in ways that are interesting.
Thank you. I got another one as well.
Yeah.
So for any projects out there that are starting out, do you think there's a sweet spot? Do you think you have to have every single one of these bits of utility, or is there
No,
a
I think that, I guess it depends. I think the more of those like kind of buckets that you can land, because one kind of system of providing utility could really hit a lot of those all at once, right? But I think that's what kind of like protects your holders from being beholden to the market, right? Like if I have an NFT that provides value just by being what it is, when ETH goes up, fine. When ETH goes down, fine. Because like I'm a part of this, and what it does for me is worth whatever I paid for it. And that to me is the future that actually everybody can buy into. Because a lot of all of this space, as we all are, I think probably, maybe it's not a fair assumption, but probably so, like we all can do like basic algebra. And we know that like if the only thing is, person X paid Y, and then later person Z pays, I guess there's nothing after Z, I should have started earlier, pays A, somebody loses in that algebra. Like there's a fixed amount of capital that goes in, and like for the person that 10x'd, that means that somebody else probably minus 10x'd, maybe not on your project, but something else. So that algebra to me is a little bit problematic for a like system that we want everybody else to buy into, right? So providing actual value beyond just the speculation of, or the gold rush of like, will this thing become valuable for whatever reason that people decide it's valuable, which may or may not be manipulated, that to me is what pushes us to the space where people take us seriously as an industry. And yeah.
Should community bring utility as well as the project being able to provide utility?
So yeah, I think that's like cooperative ownership is like part of the Web3 space, right? Or it can be at least, depending on how your project's set up. So when everybody thinks of themselves as an owner, then yeah, everybody gets to bring something. That's actually like my very first real contribution to the Web3 space was a bot that I made for the Top Dog Discord. It's like a photo booth, because part of their utility is they provide IP and they give you all the layers for your art so that you can kind of remix it however you want. So I kind of said, well, if we have all these layers, then we can maybe like make this remix easier for people and put different backgrounds on them and, change their hats and make them tiny and all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? I think what you got, Jordan? Jordan is brand new to the NFT space, by the way, and the crypto space. He made his wallet just to be here, so, yeah.
I was going to ask, we'll keep within the context of your slide, which of these utilities do you think is being most underutilized?
I think that the order that I put them in is the order that I've seen them kind of appear. I think that first there was just kind of art attached, and then kind of the economic stuff started creeping in, and then so I think that that's kind of the progression that we've seen of utility in the space, but I don't think it's over, and I think that there's plenty more in between. So I think the thing I would like to see the most of, obviously, is I would like to see more good coming of the space. I'd like to see it impacting the world in meaningful ways. Yeah, I hope that when somebody sees that the Flower Girls have donated, $700,000 to children's charities or whatever it is right now, that they say, oh, well, maybe this isn't just like a big like Ponzi cash grab type of thing. Like there can be meaningful stuff that happens from this space.
Excellent, thank you.
I think I'm out of time based on this little timer that's in front of me, but I'm glad to answer any questions, or you can hit me. This is my tweeter, which I had for like 10 years and didn't actually use until last year when I started the NFT thing. But yeah, happy to reach out and talk to whoever. Yeah, thank y'all for having me.